Well, 8 weeks into quarantine, and many of us are in desperate need of a trip to the salon. But guess what? The same goes for our dogs. They are getting scruffy and muddy and probably smelly. And it has come to the point where many of us are probably thinking about, taking matters into our own hands. For tips on how to safely groom and clean our dogs at home, we're joined by Natasha Santos of the Dog Market in Toronto. Welcome to your morning.
Morning.
Natasha, who do you have with you there?
This is Ruby. She's going to be my little model today for you guys.
Oh, fantastic. Let's start with a real problem for a lot of dogs, especially now that we're getting into spring and being outside more, and that is mats. What can you do about the mats if you're at home?
So I know it's tempting to want to cut out the mats, but if you can try to avoid it, it's ideal. Since the matting happens right at the skin, it's hard to tell where the skin stops and the matting begins. So cutting it, you could potentially cut your dog, which is not great. So using a tool like this, like a mat remover or a dematting comb, is ideal. So the way that you want to do it is you want to always brush away from the skin. So a tool like this is soft around the edges, but has little blades inside. So it helps split out the mat. So once you brush it a few times, you can actually use your hands to further split up the mat and then go through it with like a fine comb or even like a slicker brush as well is great. I know it's a little bit more time consuming, but it is a lot safer for the dogs, and that way you're not cutting holes in your dog's fur as well.
If people want to maybe trim their dog's hair, maybe around the eyes or around the paws, what should they keep in mind?
So ideally, you want to try to use scissors that are meant for hair and not kitchen scissors. You always want to try to get scissors with rounded edges, especially if you're using it around their face. That way, just in case the dog happens to move, you're not going to accidentally jab them or get it too close and cut into their eyes or around their skin.
Moving on to bathing, let's say we've been home for a while. We don't necessarily have all the things at home we need to groom and bathe our dog. Is it okay to use regular shampoo, especially if you have a dog that has hair, not fur?
Yeah, it's not ideal. Human shampoos are obviously formulated a little bit different. Our skin is 3 times thicker than your dog's, so it's not great to use a human shampoo. You want to look for an all-natural shampoo that has an oatmeal, aloe, coconut, or even a plant base. Not only is it going to be safe for all skin and coat types, but it's going to give you that nice lather to really ensure that the dog is nice and clean. And it's going to be a lot easier to comb through them after and also dry them.
Natasha, I have a final question about nails. This is a big issue for us at home.
Yes.
It can be very stressful to do for the owner. What can you do to make it a little bit easier?
So I know nail clipping is always a stressful situation for all dog owners. A little trick of mine is most people want to do their nails flipping up the paw this way. But a really nice trick is to actually fold the paw back. Sorry, let me move this down so you can see it. So if you actually fold the paw this way, it's actually a more natural, more comfortable way for the dog. And also it's a lot easier for you to be able to see the actual quick. So you just want to take off the tips. Of course, there are different nail clippers for different size dogs. So you want to make sure that you get the right one. So Ruby, I obviously use a small, and you just want to take off the tips. But if you do it like this, you can really see where it goes into like a fine tip. So you can just take off the tips. And I know it's hard and nerve-wracking, but try to be a little bit calm too when you're doing it. Because if you're calm, the dogs will be calm. And, ideally maybe do it after you've gone for like a nice long walk or they've played in the backyard. So the dog's not so wiggly. Exactly. Tired them out. Exactly.
Hey, Natasha, thank you so much for helping us out today. And to Ruby, too. She was a great model.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having us on today.
All right. Stay healthy. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.